Hello everyone and welcome to the Water Powerset Reveal livestream. My name is Meps. I am your community manager here on DC Universe Online. With me today is Aver, lead systems design. Say hi.
Hello.
And the Nerd of Bray, our creative director here on DC.
I got a V now.
Yeah, I guess you don't.
Do I say hi?
Yeah, say hi also.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. Hopefully you guys are excited for Water Powers. We've been working on it for a while. And we are super ready to kick this thing off. So here's what's going to happen in this stream. We're going to talk about Water Powers at a high level, like where we got inspiration from, and then we're going to show you all of the abilities, all the cool stuff in the game as well. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Good? You ready?
Oh,
ready to do this?
I've been ready for a long time.
My hair has been ready for so long.
How long has it been like that? A couple months?
I did it for the summer because guess what we've been working on?
Water. Awesome.
I'm just like, hey, art team. There you go.
This is exactly what I want. And then they understood.
That's how that works.
We're going to talk about the process, actually, how we developed the power. So it actually wasn't like that. But we'll get into that.
Not every time.
Yeah.
No, sometimes though.
Sometimes it was. You guys do know that water is a healer power set, and you know that it's a damage power set, healer damage. And you know it's inspired loosely by the Aquaman family. And we're going to jump into the details right now. So, SJ, why don't you kick it off? Tell us which characters have specifically inspired the power set.
I'd say we took most of the inspiration from Mera. You say the Aquaman family, and that's quite literally that would be his sometimes lover, sometimes wife, depending on when in DC Comics history. Mera, queen of the seas, basically. She actually can control water, literally, like throw storms in your face, create constructs that you'll see, stuff like that.
Wait, so what can Aquaman do?
That's always the
that was
question,
a trolley question,
isn't it? That is always the question. But he doesn't literally control water, which is why he wasn't as much of an inspiration, other than obviously anything that has to do with water or the seas. There's a little bit of Aquaman going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Which there is one ability that kind of references the King of the Seas himself a little bit, which you guys will see later. And Aqualad, probably mostly a Calder version of him, the Young Justice Aqualad. There's a little bit of Tempest, and a little bit of Ocean Master, which those are inspired by our Mera for heroes and Ocean Master for villains, because he too is a kind of a water mancer almost. We never use a word like that. That makes no sense.
Water mancer. No, it's good.
But he uses the more apropos words are hydrokinesis and Calder and his water constructs, and tide calling for Mera, and Ocean Master does that too. That whole like, I'm just going to throw the ocean at your face and the ocean's just going to go to town, you know. And then the more construct driven stuff, there you actually take water and form it, you know, you create a shape from it, like a weapon or something like that.
So we got
There they are.
Yeah, so we've got kind of the hero and villain. You said these are inspired bys, right?
Those are inspired bys.
Mera and Ocean Master. And we've got some art here. Maybe just walk through it a little bit and kind of talk about how we got inspired by it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, DC, you know, fanatics, you guys are going to know this stuff, but there's a few folks out there who haven't seen these characters too much.
The details.
Though she's in the movie coming out.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Over a year.
Yeah, I've written a lot of dialogue. I could write lyrics, right? But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so
we got stuff to show.
She does stuff with summoning. Is this a construct, or what is this? What is the giant shark?
That is totally a water construct.
Okay, that's a construct.
Those aren't like literal sharks. Those are she's creating water sharks to throw in your face. We really like that, don't we?
As we go through these, just mention briefly, like, you know, what elements from these characters have we kind of pulled out? And obviously we'll show it all later, but just high level. Like, obviously we've got some construct-y stuff coming up, right?
I know the proof is in the pudding. We'll show you. We just want to give you guys a little bit of background on what we've been staring at for the last couple of months, trying to make come to life in DCUO.
You mentioned weapons made from water.
I did, and there they are. There's some from the comics there. If you guys watch the Young Justice cartoon show, you've seen it in action. He does that a lot on the show.
Right, and
Aqualad.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Not just the like constructs and stuff like that, but we actually there's a slew of new animations, and some of the poses and stuff were directly inspired and stuff like that. So hopefully, like, take a look at it when we show you guys the stuff. You can see a lot of the posing, and some of the abilities are very clearly inspired by this stuff. So
That's a really good point. You guys, this is probably one of the power sets that got the most new character body animations. Like they do different things with their hands, and I'm motioning right now, and you can't see it, but they do different things. Here, cut to my hands real quick. There you go. They do different kinds of motions and stuff when they cast because it's a different kind of just look and feel we were going for with water.
Yeah.
It's a little more literal, I guess.
And then we also have just like lots of water being used itself, like splashing around, hitting you in the face, like she's doing here, right?
Right.
Whirlpools, kind of storm-inspired things. What else we got here?
Very much the sea, you know.
The sea itself.
It's not like water puddle on the side of the road. No, we're talking about the big, vast seas and the kind of power that comes from that.
Cool. Okay, so so we have this inspiration, right? Now we have the characters, we have what they do with that, you know, in a creative standpoint from the comics. Avear, how do we take that and make it gameplay? How do we incorporate those elements into the design?
So one of the things we did, we actually designed this power set. It was a long and I think interesting process where we gathered pretty much everybody on the whole team together in a big room we call the Bat Cave. And
now they know.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, it's not so secret anymore, I guess. But so we gathered everybody together, and we had big conversations. We're like, all right, what do you guys feel is iconic about water in the DC universe? You know, who do you think is portrays the feelings we want? You know, we asked big thematic questions like, how many of you like water constructs or hydrokinetics? And you know, I actually have some notes that I took here to make sure. You know, but do we feel that it is more melee or more range thematic? Like how do we want the visuals and the look of the characters we know and love to come through in the power set?
What
right?
makes sense for water?
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
You know, do we want pets, or you know, how does that sort of stuff work? And so after coming up with huge lists of things, we kind of whittled it down and got to the point where we had a bunch of stuff that we thought that really stuck out, right? So obviously water constructs with some weapons. We wanted tide calling, so that one's fairly obvious, I guess. But we wanted to make sure that we really showed that water is a force of nature and that it was something that was kind of hard to contain but also powerful. And then after we kind of nailed down the thematics, we went and looked into the
Whoops. Sorry.
Oh, it's so loud.
Stop it.
Yeah,
It's coming.
so we went and something that was a big challenge that we thought was a big thing we wanted to tackle is to make water feel like water, right? Obviously we have other power sets and other things within the DC universe that are blue, or that ice. We've got ice, and so we want to make sure that didn't conflict, and we harkened back to animation techniques to make sure our water actually looked and felt like water.
Yeah,
So.
the animation conversations are my favorite because we've got Avear, me, and the art lead, and we're just doing all these ridiculous things, and at the end everyone's like, damn, why weren't we recording that?
Yeah, there were times where I would act out animations and like get winded because I had acted it out so many times. It's just a little embarrassing.
And a couple of like, ow, my back.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting up there in age. But so, after we got all of the looks and the brainstorming and that sort of stuff, we sat down and we thought about, well, what sort of actual mechanics, how can we make people feel like they're controlling water, and things that are obvious come to mind, like we want them to be dynamic, we want them to be able to shift and adjust based on what's going on, and we felt that not only that, but in a post stats revamp world, that we wanted to make our choices very interesting. And so all of that sort of came down to we got new functionality for things like cooldown reduction, right? So you can actually
Spoiler.
Am I not supposed to spoil
you're supposed to
stuff
spoil.
yet?
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Wait, isn't that?
I thought I was getting yelled at
Sorry, it's been so long.
on live streaming. He's like, stop, turn off his mic. So cooldown reduction is a big thing that water is going to be dealing with. So they're going to be able to essentially, remove certain cooldowns and be able to use abilities more often than they. Specific abilities more often than maybe other people would, right? And then they'll have abilities that actually buff other abilities, and so we fit a bunch of utility in there to make building loadouts very interesting.
Awesome.
And so
which you can now do because we have a stats revamp.
Right.
That
Yep. Yeah, there's
allows you to
a
use
lot of
any of your
loadouts
abilities.
that are
Yeah.
really cool, and you find the abilities that have a lot of synergy with each other. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple you want to do back to back, 'cause they look even more amazing.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure. I'm gonna spoil it. I'm sure Spord can show you.
Oh.
Don't worry. I know you guys are panicking. Spord will be here shortly.
Yeah, so the natives are getting restless. So
Yeah.
we're going to summon Spord from the deep. The deep of the systems
We're
pit.
summoning
the,
him
the
now.
pit of systems.
Let's really hope he's watching right now, or we're
so
all just gonna sit
he's
here.
gonna come down,
awkwardly.
and we'll have that, and we'll show you water powders in about 3 years. We'll be right back.
Oh, this
BRB
Just kidding.
developing.
trolliest troll that ever trolled.
No, while Sport comes down, before we jump into the game to show you all the powers, let's actually talk a little bit about the stats revamp as far as how that has set up water. Obviously, stats revamp just launched, and water is just about to launch, so they're related.
They are related, yeah. So one of the things that we gain from the stats revamp is we're able to build new things.
Shall he
faster.
enter?
Oh,
Yes. Oh, he's here. Yeah, but
But anyway, yeah. So we're
Continue.
able to build new things faster. We're able to make more interesting abilities because it's not a very specific loadout that you have to have. You
Right.
can actually have a bunch of choice. You can pull things in from iconic abilities and stuff like that. Where'd he go?
he's behind us. He's just sitting behind
Oh,
us.
he's just messing with us.
I got muted.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was- I thought you were
I'm gonna say
leave.
bye for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go watch the stream. Sport's gonna take over right here and show everybody the power set. Leaving it to these two dudes because they've basically been running this show. So
Okay.
here
Thank
comes
you.
water.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. The Nerd of Prey. And now.
Oh.
So,
Hello.
welcome to the live stream.
Wow,
Mr.
I only hear
Sport.
myself
Here, let me.
in one ear.
Well, it's probably because your headphone is the good one.
Okay, that's fine.
So, welcome to the show, Sport. I'm going to update your title here, and why don't you tell us just initially, I don't know, what's the one thing you're most excited about for this power set, or that was exciting for you designing this power set or implementing this power set?
The cooldown reduction, it sounds simple at first,
Yeah.
but when you start layering that in with all the different abilities and what they can do, it really gives you a lot of options. It's really flexible. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to turn your volume back up because
So
you stopped
something-
shouting at us.
Nope. So something I wanted to mention before
Yeah.
we kind of get into showing stuff off. So Sport mentioned cooldown reduction, and the class mechanic, as we mentioned before in the teaser, is something called High Tide. We actually have two things that are super important to the power set: High Tide and Riptide. We love tides.
High Tide and Riptide? you said?
Riptide, yeah.
Riptide,
So
got it.
Riptide is the simpler one, so I'll talk about that one first. Basically, it removes the cooldown of your previous ability that you used, right?
What?
So you can use something like a big burst ability or a big heal or a big shield or something like that. You can hit Riptide and you can immediately use the previous one again, right?
Awesome.
So what that does is it allows you to basically circumvent some rules that we've put in place as far as the stats revamp goes, and that allows you to use burst when you need to. It's one of the things that we thought would allow you to shift your gameplay based on the situation you're in.
Cool.
I need a giant group heal. You can use it twice in a row. And the other one, which is more complicated and a little bit more in depth, is called High Tide. And when you use High Tide, your abilities, most of your abilities, I should say, have a added bonus that you can that you get when you're in High Tide, right? So you basically fill yourself with water power, you click High Tide, and then an ability. What are we showing first?
I'm just
We don't know.
you're just going.
You got so we've got a DPS loadout for you to start with.
Right.
Start with Rushing Waters, and we can just go from there. We're going to go through every single ability, and I guess we'll start with the DPS side and then kind of move over to the healing
Yeah,
side.
sure.
You've got a healing loadout ready, but we'll switch it up. So tell us what you're doing.
Well, this is called Crashing Wave.
Okay.
It allows you to get right up in their face, a little uppercut, flowing on the waves. You mentioned Rushing Waters. This is Rushing Waters. It is a ranged combo. It's the I just did the wrong one again. It's the first one on the tray here.
Definitely new animations there.
Yes,
Kinda,
these are.
How would you describe those animations? Tai Chi inspired?
Tai Chi, Kung Fu-ish.
Kung Fu-ish,
you know?
yeah.
Flowing. Yeah.
Oh, jinx.
Oh, hey. And actually, Rushing Waters, or I think it may be getting a new name. I think it's Tsunami Strike. But basically, that one interacts with High Tide, and actually, for each step of the combo, it allows you to lowers the cooldown of High Tide, so you can use that faster. So it's sort of a back and forth gameplay style.
So I'm just
No, yeah.
You just
that's
play
what
it.
it's
Yeah,
using.
yeah, we
So
We're
got
just
it.
doing stuff.
We're gonna do this real loose. We're crazy.
All right, so Waterspouts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mid-range CC ability. You get to make these cool spouts. Knocks the dudes down. We have, as you can see, this is the crushed PI that we've used in a couple other power sets, mainly Earth.
So is that the only PI for water crushing?
It is the main PI that we've had throughout the other power sets.
Okay.
There's one that's we're using High Tide in the PI section of like the descriptions.
Got it. Okay.
Just to make it easier to understand, but it's not like the other PIs.
Yeah, it's like a self-applied. It just sticks on you and waits for other stuff to happen.
All right. So we've shown.
Crashing Wave,
Crashing
Water
Wave.
Spouts, and Rushing Waters,
Okay.
or
Cool.
what was
Tsunami Strikes.
Tsunami Strikes. That's a better name. I like it.
I like Russian. I like both
I
of
do
them, actually.
too, but because of the others.
We've changed
right,
a few of the
Yeah.
names of the abilities very recently.
I might call them
Nobody
all kinds of
remembers
neat
what they are.
Spritz.
Spritz.
I've been saying that
Yeah.
a lot.
No.
Shower.
No, stop it.
We've been warned.
Okay.
We're using non-pun names.
Oh,
and totally
right.
appropriate ones.
Right. Okay. Well, here's ebb and flow.
That really cuts down.
That's like all of them.
That's-
Yeah, that's all of them.
That's all of them. All right. Well, we have ebb and flow here.
Yeah, show us ebb and flow.
It's a pull, but it's a combo with a tap melee.
So you
can also-
tap it and it sends the wave back out.
Yeah, you can push it back away.
Awesome.
All right.
Would you say this is primarily a combo power set, though?
No.
I don't
It's
think
like
it's,
4 or 5 combos?
they've got. They're
Maybe
actually
less?
less than that. I think they have
Three
yeah.
combos?
Yeah.
But they're important.
Important combos.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, High Tide is something I think that people will use often, and Rushing Waters, Tsunami Strikes, allows us to use that much faster, and so it'll be integral to many builds.
Awesome. Can you show us that Aqua Lance
Yeah.
again?
Oh
So there's Aqua Lance.
So we were talking about some inspiration from Aquaman. You can kind of see it.
Is that the one we were referring to?
That is, I
One of the
believe
ones
so.
referring
I
to?
wasn't referring to it, but I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's what
I
was
guess Nerd
referred
of Prey
to.
left. We'll never know.
Yeah, that information's gone, I guess.
And the depth charge, I never said what this one was, but that's
Right.
It's a damaging cone of water splashes. Now, did you have another loadout somewhere, or should I?
You can switch to healer to do heals, or we
Okay.
can just
Okay.
go through the abilities, whichever one you want to do.
Let's go in here, because I have Aqua Lance on the bar. See down here it says if you have High Tide, it deals damage over time. So I wanted to kind of do that while I have it. Do this. So normally Aqua Lance, you get your Lance, it's burst power. You High Tide first, Aqua Lance, and you get damage over time.
It actually changes on a per ability basis. So
Right. It's not every ability is going to have the
Right.
same effect for that. And you can see High Tide there has this 30-second cooldown, but when I use Tsunami Strikes, I can,
What?
It resets it.
yeah, it makes it,
It lowers it.
Or lowers
lowers
it,
it per
right.
strike. Yeah.
but you have to hit to get the lowering.
And actually pretty large chunks. So
Yeah, that was 4 seconds per hit.
Very cool.
yeah.
All right.
Just hop into the loadout window, grab some new abilities.
Yeah. So what do we not? We don't have Aquatic Arsenal, Bubble. Oh, that's probably in the healer loadout, right?
It's not actually.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Yeah.
Tempest
snap.
Guard.
So one of the things that we
There are
actually,
lots of different options for healer loadouts.
It's true.
Only
There
one
are, there are a
is.
ton of them. So one of the things that we thought was really cool is we wanted to highlight the water constructs also on the healer side. So they have a bonus shield, something that's pretty unique to them. It's a full group up to 8-man shield. It
Nice.
shields how much is the current amount? The
Tempest Guard?
Yeah, the
Right
mitigation.
now it's 75% mitigation.
So 75% mitigation.
This
it has
is bubble,
interactions
though.
with
This
Titan.
is both. This is the regular
regular
shield,
Sorry, this is
right?
bubble.
But I was going to show Aquatic Arsenal as well. But let me get, let me get
it's
Bubble
slightly
back.
broken. We should note that.
Yeah, the last hit, the mesh for the mace is not showing right now. So here's bubble. But while I'm in here, you can see I get the yellow numbers there. I'll get damage procs when I'm in DPS roll for the first few hits.
Cool.
Yeah, so while we gave you an option to be in melee and use melee combos, we also wanted to help you out a little bit, enable the functionality to actually survive when you're up close. So that's why we thought bubble was a good fit for that.
Yep. And Tempest Guard, the other shield. This will go. This is mainly for healers. Like this is a pretty expensive shield, but it's going to go to 8 group members. You and 7 other group members.
Yeah, it's pretty durable, and it still has a high tide interaction.
Yes. Yeah. You get a heal if you use it after high tide. And then there's dehydrates, a single target. Now this is maybe I should show that last. Maybe I can get some more supercharge built up. This is kind of their execute move. There's Riptide, removes the cooldown, do it again. I don't know. Does that look like 25% to you? Supercharge?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Do you want to
If only
God
we
mode it?
we
No.
had something that would allow it.
No. Well, I don't want to go the full amount.
Right, I get you. So what we're kind of alluding to here is Dehydrate has special interactions with Supercharge. It's not specifically a Supercharge, but it does actually take your Supercharge and do some bonus damage with it. So it's kind of an interesting optimization choice. If you don't feel like using a Supercharge, you can use that guy instead.
We'll try it here.
Let's
See what kind of damage we get out of it. Okay, that was
Yeah. So the idea is
probably used a
you're
little bit more.
Yeah, no, I think it did a bit more damage. So the idea is you're ripping the water out of somebody's body. It's one of the more angry water abilities.
Yeah.
Most of them are hydrating.
And I guess we should Riptide. But Riptide also it works with any of these things.
Yep.
So when I do that, it removes the cooldown. You can then reuse it. These shields stack up. You can tell if you have both. You wouldn't
That's
necessarily
awesome.
want to do that all the time.
It looks so cool though.
Right. It was designed so they could stack visually, and we did work on some usability things, making sure we're messaging things really well, whenever we can.
Drown. Which one?
Get sharks.
What?
Is it shark time?
It's gotta be
Alright,
shark time.
Weapon buff. Might have to do these supercharges.
Oh man, pulling out the big guns. You may want to God mode it for some of those.
Probably. Let's just see if this guy can. So here's Drown.
This is the other angry one.
This is a supercharge generator, PI setup, CC ability.
That's messed up.
In a bubble of water.
It's a dot. Yeah. And then we can throw sharks at him.
Oh snap! So Shark Frenzy actually has an interaction with High Tide as well, where if you hit High Tide and Shark Frenzy, it will automatically crit.
No.
Yeah, actually, I should just leave High Tide on the bar, I think.
Don't die.
Yeah, I spawned that guy higher so he could take a couple hits. Let's get these dudes. So yeah, we'll auto crit on these guys. So we'll do High Tide first. Shark. Now there's
Boom.
a little special effects that'll fly around you whenever you use something. If you've done it when High Tide was on, it like flashes around. You'll hear that same kind of proc sound you would hear from like a weapon proc tactical mod. That way you kind of know without having to look down at the hands that are glowing, because you might also have pressure eyes on your hands.
Yep.
It's your weapon buff.
And Shark Toss is amazing.
Crit.
Shark Frenzy.
And it's worth
Master's gonna
noting
kill me.
just how it changes over distance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the effects.
Yeah, not the damage or anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so we did a bunch of work trying to make sure that the visuals made sense and that nothing too crazy weird happened. So Shark Frenzy, a little bit of extra time spent making sure that the shark didn't jump over everybody.
So you throw it from far. Excuse me. If you throw it from far away, he flies a little bit faster, so he gets there at the same time as if you were closer.
And if you're right on him.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
It's awesome.
lots of sharks.
If you remember
Sharks for
some of
days.
the comic art we showed earlier, where Mera was throwing sharks as well. So
Yep.
you can see that inspiration.
Yep. And gonna have to cheat a little bit here, so we can show off these supercharges. Get some dude skin. Actually, you know what?
Which one do you think you're doing first?
Let's do Whirlpool.
All right. I love this one.
So yeah, this is Whirlpool.
Love it.
It starts pulling them into the
Everybody's-
center,
Oh, so great.
even if they're outside of the pool.
Do it again.
I'm gonna kill them this time.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then, so that one's damage over time. It's a half cost supercharge, right? Like, was that? Well, it's not always half now because you can mod past that, but
right.
it's 5,000. So this is called a deep. It's
just one
it's
shot.
burst,
Cool.
so it hits pretty
It
hard.
one-shots everything in the game. Is that what you said? Yeah.
That's
Not everything, but lots
all
of
right.
things.
That guy too. He's double my level, but
Probably get some good gear on.
yeah, we can see it there. And that'll hit up to 8 guys, as usual. And that one's 10,000 supercharge, so it's double the Whirlpool in cost.
Awesome.
All right, are we showing heals then? Did I miss one?
I don't see any offensive ones you missed. No.
All right.
It's heal time.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's let these guys. So, you might have to help me on the names here. Let's do number 1.
Okay.
Because
Number 1 is so we constantly revise and update names and stuff like that. So number 1, I believe, is Soothing Mist, and that is priority heal. So it heals you and the lowest health person.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Just a nice splash of water across yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Feels good.
Refresh.
let's get out of
Cool down.
There we go. All right, and then the second one.
This one is Mending Wave, and that's the four person, right?
Yeah, this will hit you in 3.
So you notice we have some new icons and stuff up there, so we can make things feel nice and watery.
Then this is an 8-man heal. This is this still Blessing of the
Yep.
Blessing of the Depths?
It could be deep depths.
Blessing of the Deep.
I'm not a word guy.
All right, and then I think this next one is Mep's favorite.
Yeah, it is. This is yeah.
What?
It's just freaking amazing.
So
Jellyfish.
I
everywhere.
don't know about you guys. I'm
Soothing
feeling
jellyfish.
pretty healed right now.
So calm.
It's
That's
fantastic.
Solace of the Sea.
So how's it work? What's it do?
So any person that's within the range, you can see there's kind of like the water that's like flowing up, healing everyone, all the way out to there. Anybody that's in there is going to get heal over time.
Mm-hmm.
Update group members.
Up to 8 people.
Yep.
So the next one's supercharged. I believe it's called Tranquil Pool.
Yes. Oh,
So good.
except
Uh-oh.
it's not.
There it is. What?
Save yourself. It worked.
So this is actually a channeled field. Is it a field still?
It's
sort of.
It looks like one. This will heal everyone in the raid group.
Oh, right.
At
Yeah.
whatever
It's
distance.
giant.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because it's supercharged,
Mhm.
you're taking care of everybody. It also has a high tide proc with it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's do High Tide first, then do it, and now everyone also gets Bubble.
Little bonus shield action.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty legit.
And
We already did Tempest Guard. That
we
Yeah, we
did
did
Tempest
it
Guard
earlier.
on a.
Oh, right, on non-healer.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
Could do it again if you just want to look at it.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
pretty good.
Seashell shields. Yeah. Should have practiced that one.
See, I can't even do that. So Tempest Guard. Oh,
Why would you replace that one? That seems like something that will never happen.
they're kind of
It's really good.
expensive. So
Whatever. Controllers.
oh, Flood of Power.
Oh, Flood of Power.
I think
Also awesome.
we've shown that one a little bit.
Yeah, so Flood of Power is actually the gift that we sent out early, and basically Flood of Power is it lowers all of your cooldowns. Is it 100%?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just removes your cooldowns
For water abilities.
Yeah, for water abilities, and so
Yeah.
you can burst out all your stuff and then use that supercharge to remove all of your cooldowns, and then does it
Do it again.
also do something else? Sport?
Yeah, it shields you.
Does many things.
It oh man, what else? Oh, it
Breakout?
gives you all your power back.
Hey.
So that you can actually use all those things that were on cooldown that just came back off cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big deal.
You're just gaining supercharge right now. Is
That
what's happening?
and
Could take a while.
using Tempest Guard
Okay.
because you guys had mentioned you want to see it again.
Sure. That's great.
Plus, I'm just healing because I can. But we can do Flood Power. Let's put. Oh, we can't.
That'll make it tough with
We
God Mode.
can't. So
Yeah, we need to be damaged for it to show its goodness. All right.
Yeah. Or I could give myself another item, I guess.
Do you recall off the top of your head what that item is?
I do.
It's pro right there.
All the things
all
memorized.
the-
If I could type.
All the IDs. Oh, it was a short one though.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
It's old.
Only 6 digits.
Look at that.
It's magical.
All right, so let's let this guy find us here. We'll just go crazy. And then we'll use Flood of Power.
Boom.
Get all our power back. All our cooldowns came back.
So good.
And for a short time, which I took too long actually, because I was looking at it. For a short time, your cooldowns are actually, or your power, excuse me, is regenning quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can continue to cast those things.
It's like a literal flood of power.
Yes,
Amazing.
we got a little literal. I can't even.
No,
I can't
that's
even.
fine. Cool.
Can you kill this guy and then face the camera like facing you and then do flood of power? Or just do it right now? What was that?
That
That
was
was not
that
it.
was the consumable. Don't worry about that. Did you get
No,
scared?
that-
Why is there so much
What
fire in
happened?
here? No. Yeah, wait on. The cooldown reduction and stuff from Riptide does not work on supercharges, by the way.
Got it. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. So that's
I think we hit them all, right?
we hit
Yeah,
all the
I
abilities.
think that's most of them, or all of them.
What you want to pay attention to when checking these out is in the power interaction section. If it has something to do with high tide, it will say so. Like what extra bonus proc it's going to get, if it's heal over time, if it auto crits, if it makes bubbles, any of those things.
It's important things.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
cool.
Is that good?
Anything you want to say about when this might be on the public test server for players to test out?
Soon, from what I understand. Real soon. So I believe that's going to be on there today, shortly.
That's
yes.
That's the plan later
Yeah.
this evening. So If you want to throw sharks, or summon the jellyfish, or flow the water, or summon water swords, be the Atlantean master that you want to be, check out Water Powers on the test server later today, hopefully. We'll obviously update you guys if that changes. And obviously, Water Powers is launching in the game on August 30th.
Yep.
Previously announced, that's not news. But get in, get ready, get your characters ready, get your styles ready.
Your names.
Get your names ready.
I saw people getting a lot
Some
of names
legit
ready.
names out there, yeah.
They've had
Sounds
characters for a few years, some of them. Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you guys for being here. Water Powers coming your way August 30th. We will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.